Well, good evening and welcome to the Poliscope, your window into governance, politics, and the people who shape them.
Editors, reporters.
Tonight, we'll turn our lens on one of the most crucial arms of government, the legislature. I am Samson Balogun, and it's a pleasure to have you join us on the show. Our focus today is legislature and the legislators, lawmaking, oversight, and the representation in a democracy. In every democracy, legislators are not just lawmakers. They are also watchdogs over government activities and, importantly, the voice of the people they represent. But how well are these roles understood, and how effectively are they being carried out in our democracy? To help us unpack this, we are joined by Honorable Kunle Olatunji, KTJ, Special Assistant on Media to, of course, publicity to Senator Yunus Aketode, and the distinguished Senator representing Oyo Central Senatorial District. And the former SA Media to the late Governor Abiola Ajimobi. With his wealth of political and media experience, Honorable Olatunji is well placed to shed light on the duties, challenges, and expectations of legislators in Nigeria today. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Honorable Olatunji, good to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be with you this evening. And on behalf of Senator Yunus Aketode, the distinguished senator representing Oyo Central, the Senate, I bring special warm regards to everyone and wish us a wonderful week ahead, the remaining days of the week. It's been a wonderful week starting about 2 days ago.
You're a media guru yourself.
Yes, by the grace of God, I have wealth of experience in media management.
You practiced for some time.
Yes, I have a very robust career in media management. In the corporate world where I had worked for almost about 25 years. I was in charge of media management in most of the organizations where I worked. So, and then of course I had a training in media management as well too. I did my first degree in geography and planning, then had a PhD in mass communication, though not completed though, for reasons of corporate engagements. About 25 good years. And I have an MBA in marketing management, so you can imagine that's a very solid background in communication management. So that gave me that opportunity to work in that capacity in most of the organizations where I had worked as business development consultant, manager in Nigeria Wire and Cable. A good start also again in media and publishing company, for publishing company, a renowned academic press in Lupeju in Lagos. That's where I started my career. And then later to Nigeria Wire and Cable, I ended up as general manager. Apart from other places I've worked, I ended up as general manager as marketing at Coleman Wire and Cables. And that was a robust opportunity for me to deal with the media most of the time as the image maker of my company where I had worked.
With this wealth of experience,
yes,
we'll bring all that,
of course,
into politics,
yes,
and of course to help Senator Yunus Aketode push some narratives.
Before then, I had also, like you mentioned in your opening remarks, I'd also worked with the late former governor of Oyo State, late Governor Abiola Ajimobi. I was one of his media head. I was the special assistant on media and publicity, and I've held that position, also within the political system, being a spokesperson for the party where I belong. Each time I have opportunity to work in the party structure, I'm one of those people who speak on behalf of the party. So I wasn't surprised when Senator Aketode called on me to come on board to work with him among 25 of us that he engaged at the commencement of
election.
After the election actually. He has engaged quite a number of us to work with him, to think with him, to join him in the serious assignment of legislative work as a senator. So I happen to be the one in charge of his media functions. So I relate with the media on his behalf. So on his behalf today, I'm standing in to discuss a couple of things he has done in the last couple of years when he assumed duty as a distinguished senator representing Oyo Central at the Senate.
All right. Now talking about the Oyo State APC, you are a member of the APC.
Yes.
A car-carrying member of the party.
Proudly won.
And you are one of the most vocal ones when we talk about the APC in Oyo State, even in Nigeria.
I think I do my best for the party to discuss issues and also position the party in the right perspective in the media space.
Now, let me ask you, what is wrong with the Oyo State APC?
Well, as it is, there's virtually no place in the world why you don't have challenges. So it's not what is happening within the party is not a big issue as people make it to look like. It's a serious challenge in terms of managing issues if you don't know how to manage it. I believe the party has a number of people, very sound, intellectually inclined individuals who I believe have the capacity to identify the challenges the party is facing and then come up with a robust solution. Like I said, having challenges is not an issue. Your capacity to sit down and look at the critical issues you are dealing with and being able to provide right solutions is what determines how you could be looked upon as a leader. I'm very certain that APC as a party has the caliber of people who could sit down, who could look at issues. Fortunately for the party, some of us are coming up as leaders already now. By the grace of God, your Bible will say, the child of yesterday will also grow up. Some years back, they looked at us as young people. Today, if I put off my cap now, you'll see what I'm talking about, that there are a couple of white substances coming up there. So age has come up. We have come of age. We have also seen it, being handled in the past by people who were in charge. So we have a robust experience to, together with the leadership of the party presently, and come up with solutions to some of the challenges the party is having. Basically, it's about interest. Interest. Everybody has interest. Everybody wants to become, it has reason and obligations within the party. Why are they there? They want to probably hold position of authority. Some people are targeting elected offices. Some are having, and when you have, some are targeting appointments. And when you have these various interests aggregated, in one single system, definitely there are bound to be occasions when the interests will clash. So of course it's natural. It's nothing out of place. However, the ability of the party leadership to assiduously look at issues and collectively, like I use that word collectively, identify that we have problems. And then together again, agree to provide solutions to the problem. Because the leadership should identify that everybody that is following them has one interest or the other. You don't just come into politics without having focus. A couple of people are probably there like that, though, just following the system. But today, I'm glad to say the party politics in Nigeria has changed. You now have a couple of us, several young people, several intellectual, several sound mind, several intellectual, several well-experienced and exposed individuals who have come into politics with a focus to serve, to contribute their quota within the polity and make a change within the system. Now, Nigeria is very blessed with several intelligent individuals, and our parties as well too. Not only APC, different parties have that ability, that capacity. But sadly, I think there's a gap, there's a leadership gap that all of these leaders in various parties must take note of. That people know why they are within the system. They know what they are looking for. You don't just aggregate your own, put your own personal interest, primordial interest above every other people's interest. Life is a collective interest. Life is a whole, of different parts put together. So I believe that when the leaders identify the fact that some people are not just there to play. Some people are not just there to beg for anything. For instance, several of us have various vocations. I apart from the media function that I run with the Center today.
You're also a businessman.
I'm a businessman. I have my businesses and I'm doing very well. I'm proud to say that I'm doing very well. Quite well.
Having grown in stature within the APC in Oyo State and of course in Nigeria at large, would you say the APC in Oyo State in the last few years, let me say in the last 6 or 8 years, has been a worthy opposition in Oyo State?
In Oyo State, yes. Unfortunately, I feel so sad when you use that word opposition, because ideally, I tell you with all
that's what the APC is in
Oyo
State as we
now.
speak.
So that's why I said I feel sad. When you are supposed to be in charge, managing the affairs of the state, you have all the resources, the human resources to do that. You have all the financial strength and capacity to do that. The financial war chest is there. We're not pushovers. Several well-to-do individuals within the party system. So it's not about that we don't have money to contest or we don't have financial capacity to, upstage the system. But so not surprisingly for those of us that knew why we are at this level.
So you knew the party was going to fail?
Of course, if you do not have your house in order, if you also don't have right strategy, you also don't agree. The English, there's English saying that, or biblical saying that says that a house divided against itself will not stand. That is the only problem giving there's supposed to be opposition chance over APC. APC has large followership. APC has resourceful people. APC, in Oyo State, I'm not even talking about Nigeria as a whole. In Oyo State, we have a lot of resourceful individuals, professionals, accountants, lawyers, medical doctors, well-to-do individuals, people who have seen the outside world, who have brought in corporate experience into party politics. And it still baffles me that despite this, very strong advantage that the party has, we have not been able to harness these resources together to position ourselves as the party to be beaten in Oyo State. Unfortunately, that was the experience of the past 6-8 years you mentioned. However, I think now all of us can now see that except we put our house in order, except we agree to work as a team, except we work together collectively, we will still be having the same experience of the past. So it is germane to identify that necessity.
Where the problem came from.
So that is a summary of the problem. Ability of everybody to subdue personal interest and let the party interest, collective interest of the party come in the fore.
Okay, now,
the moment we're able to achieve
talking
that,
about party interest,
yes.
Honorable Olatunji, talking about party interest, where did the APC get it wrong in the year 2019? You were a member of late Senator Isaac Ajimolabi's inside cabinet, kitchen cabinet. You knew everything that was going on. He was done with being a governor, 8 years. He wanted to be a senator. Unfortunately, did not win. Of course, he's anointed candidate, or the party's anointed candidate. I'm still going to ask you, was it the party or was it forced on you? Now, going in that direction, you lost everything. The APC lost everything in that election. Your principal did not win the senatorial seat. The APC, as a political party in Oyo State, lost that position to retain power in Oyo State. Now everything is done and dusted. 2027 is around the corner. How did you get it wrong? Was it that the candidate of the APC was forced on you? There is a saying that you played the Jagba politics in Oyo State at the time. Was it true?
Well, in as much as the media has an advantage of openness, to inform the public about what actually transpired. Yoruba people will say that you don't wash your dirty nail outside. I won't be able to go into details of what transpired. But the bottom line, summary of it all, was that same challenge of collective responsibility, which is what I'm preaching now in the party system. That's what I'm preaching. When we begin to talk, you will see. I discovered that party politics in Nigeria is being played by a few individuals. Just a clique of people, maybe 5-6 people will just sit down somewhere and say, this is where we are going. And they expected everybody to just follow suit. I tell you that life doesn't work that way. That's the summary of what happened in APC in 2019. That, somewhere, people will just sit down and say, okay, this is the way to go. And they won't even take in consideration what the people want. That's the kind of politics we play in Africa, in Nigeria especially. And also, but your state is dynamic, it's different. You can't come and play that kind of politics here. Because there are several stakeholders. In life, you have to identify the fact that there are several stakeholders in everything you are doing, even in business. That is a hard reality our politicians are feeling to come to terms with. And that's what I have discovered, maybe because of my background as a corporate individual. I have a very rich corporate experience, so much that I walk to my MD's office and say, sir, this is what I feel about this project we're about to do. And I think if we go this way, we will probably get it right. If we go the way we are, or in management meeting, it's a collective responsibility. The MD is just there as the director, as the driver. He expects all of us, the marketing manager, the marketing director, finance director, all of us, because probably the MD, let's say, assume the MD is just a finance person. He will just be an expert in finance area. He would need people in marketing. He probably will have an idea of marketing, but there are core professionals in marketing that will rely upon to take decisions, on sales and marketing strategy that is ideal for managing the brand. However, he will need people in HR, human resources, who would look at who are the best people we should taken to work with us in these specialized areas of the, you know, business system. So you have a lot of business units that are being handled by professionals. The same thing should go for party system. Within the party structure, you have people who are experts in managing challenges, resolving problems. You have people who are good at, you know, organizing. You have people who are good at financing. So you should be able to harness this together. In politics, it doesn't work that way. They think it doesn't work that way. But we are coming up with a brand of politics now that says, no, we can't go that same route again. It's not working. It's obvious that it has failed severally. We have seen the results of that route. But now, for instance, you want to become governor. Over 9 million people, estimated indigenous of our state. And you just want your own personal decision, the personal style of doing things to override collective interest of this. It's not going to work. So what we are preaching now is that let everybody come on board. However, it's not everybody can't come into the system, to the ship. But let's bring our people interests together, aggregate various interests, the artisan group, the professionals, you know, in different areas of life, medicine, law, engineering, infrastructure development, real estate, you know, energy, security. Come on board. Let's look at our problems together. I'm the governor, so good, but I don't know it all. I just have the capacity to, what you expect of me is just the capacity to put all of you together, come up with solutions and say, okay, let's have an array of solutions to problems. I know the challenges in education. I know the challenges in agriculture. I know, you know, quite a number of things in infrastructure development. Of course, by virtue of my discipline as a geographer, you have that opportunity to know so many things. I don't want to go into this of what geography is about, because geography itself is simply defined as the study of man and his environment. So you have that ability as a geographer to have an helicopter and aeroplane view of issues of life. Just like lawyers who claim they are learned. You know, a geographer is very vast. I appreciate that grace. But realistically, I can't know medicine like a medical doctor. I can't know law like a lawyer. As much as maybe I did some law in MBA class. That's not enough for me to understand the issue of judiciary effectively well. So if I'm going to succeed as a governor, I need to call in experts in those fields. For instance, education, for instance, now. What I expected to be done is for you to have, as a governor, I'm going to engage individuals who are experts in primary education, individuals who are experts in secondary education, individuals who are experts in tertiary education, separately as special advisors. I'm going to have 3 special advisors in that area who would, and I'm going to engage a typical school headmistress to handle primary education, you know, policy development. I'm going to engage somebody, probably a retired principal, you know, in secondary education to guide us in our educational policy on secondary education. I'm going to engage a professor or a lecturer in a professor university or university, a lecturer in the polytechnic, who understands the dynamics and challenges of tertiary institution. A typical professor in university might not necessarily understand details of what primary and secondary education. But if he has a special advisor, in each of these sectors, working with him, with the governor, they will be able to sit down together and identify the core challenges in education at all those various, you know, areas. And you are going to have a robust educational policy that you present to the people and, you know, to the House of Assembly for approval, for implementation, and smooth on. You ride on and run.
As one of the change makers in the APC as we speak, do you think you and your cohorts have what it takes to make that necessary change?
Well, we recently came up with a program. We call it Within the Party. Of course, and also it's outside. We can have an array of people. Those of us that brought the idea together were, you know, party people, and we said, okay, why don't we have a departure from the usual? And we're not asking for any financial support from anybody, from any leader. We are sponsoring that project ourselves, and so to let them, because they know us, that these are people who are independent-minded, who have a capacity to come. We have discussed with several people, and let's do this, let's do that. Okay, if they're not going to listen to us, let us demonstrate something for them to see. We now come up with what we call Project Fix Your 2027. I am the convener of that program. And I say, okay, we will continue to talk about the issue of Oyo State. We can't take the whole Nigeria as a field of, we're not experimenting. But we say, okay, let's come local. We know the problem of Nigeria, but can we just look at Oyo State as a case study, comprehensively, together as professionals. We are picking people from different aspects of life, walks of life, to come together to form that team of core professionals, not necessarily politicians. It's not a partisan thing. So we are coming up with that. We're going to be looking critically at Oyo State problems. We know them. We know the issue. We're going to look at the solutions. Some of us, we know the solutions. We also want to say, okay, before more than what we think we know, let us engage other people to join us in this scope.
Who might have
and
better ideas.
Who will probably have deeper ideas, deeper understanding of the critical issues in various sectors. And come up together, like I use the word together, collectively. Not just me, Kunle Olatunji now, but several people coming together to say, let us embrace the issue of Oyo State. Let's make it our brain work. And then come up with workable solutions. Come up with ideal situations whereby everybody, the young, the old, the adults, the professionals, the artisans, different walks of life will be involved in what happens in Oyo State.
You are a member of Senator Yunus Akintunde's team.
Yes.
You play a very important role in his team.
By the grace of God.
And most definitely you are his mouthpiece.
I can say
so many people who are saying so many things out there.
Okay.
While some have eulogized Senator Yunus Akintunde for fixing some things, some have said Senator Yunus Akintunde has failed in his responsibility as a legislator.
You know, I won't blame people for whatever perception they have about issues, because they probably do not know.
Some call him to know you know.
So now, let me now start to let you know. You know, I joined Senator Akintunde with a strong conviction that I'm working with a person that has understanding of what governance is about, because we've worked together in several capacities, while he was a commissioner for works in Oyo State under Governor Ajimobi. Then later he became the executive assistant on, political matters and the administration as well, to combining several functions together. In fact, he was, at that time, he was one of the key players that sustained Governor Ajimobi's, government, that first tenure. And you could see the array of people that worked with Ajimobi at that time. Governor Ajimobi, had that grace of harnessing very strong quality minds together. Several of us worked with him. Well, I don't know. I can't say much about what happened in the second tenure, because some of us left the system. But that first tenure...
Were you fenced out of the system?
No, we're not fenced out.
Why did you leave?
Some of us have this ability to identify the way things are going.
Was there something you saw that made you leave?
And we felt that, he didn't ask me to leave. I just told him, I said, I can't.
So why did you leave?
Special assistant capacity, I think I've gone beyond that level in this function. I want to go and do, if I have opportunity if give me the opportunity, I want to go to my local government to go and serve. And he said, okay, go ahead. But 4 years waiting to be in charge of the chairmanship of Oluyo local government, where I come from, it didn't happen. I didn't begrudge anybody for that. I have no regrets. So that was my own story. Several other people had other stories.
You're a politician.
But I'm a politician.
You claim you want to serve the people.
I want to serve my people, and in that capacity at the grassroots level. That was my own story then. Of course, it didn't happen. He promised me, but we get to understand life much better every now and then. Later I understood the reasons. We sorted it out by God's grace, before it passed out. I lay clear. I can say to God's glory that Governor Ajimobi and the likes of Senator Yunus Akintunde are my leaders within the political system, and by brother, let me use the word Moje training. Okay. So, and now going to Senator Akintunde's issue, you see, that was the background of our relationship. So when he engaged me, we knew that both of us had passion to serve the people. Senator Akintunde is somebody that can tell anytime. Go and check the trajectory. He's a people-oriented person. And when he got into the Senate, the first thing that happened was that shortly after the removal of the fuel subsidy, federal government also wanted to increase the tariff on electricity bill. And Senator Akintunde was the first senator that stood up on the floor of the Senate to raise a bill, a voice against that decision that, no, you can't do this again. Shortly, you have just removed the fuel subsidy. You now want to put, that's too much. Can you please let us relax a little bit? And a couple of other senators reasoned with him. He had his way in the Senate, and that bill, proposition was stepped down. Of course, later, in some months later, when it was obvious that, okay, fine, globally, there's need for us to revisit our electricity tariff. Yes, we could, but he did that. And apart from that, legislative function of a senator, is the most important function of a senator. So today, as I talk to you, Senator Akintunde has, to his credit, 3 important bills. The first one was Federal Polytechnic Ayede, that was created during Jonathan
administration.
Period. And of course, several other polytechnics that were created at that time had been, put towards legislative approval for them to have statutory, administrative system. Unfortunately, Ayede Polytechnic did not have that opportunity. Nobody pushed that for Ayede Polytechnic. Senator Akintunde was the senator that pushed across to that statutory, positioning of Federal Polytechnic Ayede. And today, as I talk to you, it has reached the final stage of that approval. Same thing for Federal College of Education, special in Oyo, also in Oyo. That school has been the first in the history of Sub-Saharan West Africa, if not the whole of Africa, where they train specialists in people that have some disability here and there, the blind, the deaf, the whatever have you, all various forms of disability, who also have due right to good education. That's the only school. But what do we see there? They can only achieve NCA status, certification. They couldn't go beyond that. Today, Senator Akintunde has passed the bill to take that in that position and reverse it, so they can now have a degree. It's not a degree awarding in a university institution, whereby they can be able to award degree in various fields, and lecturers that can now attain the rank of professorship, doctorate program can be offered, can be done there. In that, specialists in that area, we don't have that kind of thing before now. We didn't have it before now, but to the degree of God, Senator Akintunde has been able to achieve that. That bill has reached the second reading, the final reading now. That's passed beyond second reading, first reading, second reading, successfully. And then it has also gone for public hearing. And by the grace of God, what is just remaining now is for them to present it at the Senate, another Senate plenary very soon, whereby it will be
transmitted to the President
for assent. That's the second one. The third one is the same for the same another school in Oyo called the Federal School of Survey. I'm sure everybody will have known. It has been established for close to about 100 years or thereabout as well too. And that is the only school in Africa where survey and some other studies in related environmental functions. What do we have there? They can only attain HND. Whereas, after you have finished in various universities or outside the world, all over the world, within Nigeria's system, you will still come back. You see professionals who studied survey, still coming back to Federal School of Surveys to do the real thing, the real learning of survey, surveying another practical, real activities in survey program. Very rich institution in that field. Today, Senator Akintunde was the one that passed the bill that, look, let us take this institution to a higher level. It's also a degree awarding institution in a couple of months as well, too, by the grace of God. When that has also reached the final stage of final reading and presentation to the president for assent. So several other bills, several other environmental bills in environmental discussions where it will champion issues of international relations. At the time, the Canadian government was able to facilitate an arrangement whereby they will have some investments in environment in Nigeria. So some time ago, he also traveled to Canada. He traveled to, I think, Brazil as well, to several places, United Nations program, where he represented Nigeria and implemented programs that are related to environment, because he was formerly the chairman of House Committee on Environment before he was now presently appointed as the chairman on Southwest Development Commission that has just been established as one of the commission regional commissions across the country. So Senator Akintunde has done a lot, representing the interests of the people at the federal level. Some of those bills I mentioned are not only benefiting just your central people. There are bills that will represent, that will serve the interests of the entire nation. It has that cosmopolitan approach. I won't be surprised because he was a PhD degree in energy studies at the Premier University of Ibadan, where he studied energy programs and designs of workable solutions to energy in Africa. So he has that advantage. Recently, in the area of, apart from the legislative function, which is the major function which I've enumerated, he now thought that we can't just go to the Senate and just make laws alone. Good enough in the city of Obasanjo, they have introduced, what we now call community projects, whereby constituency programs, whereby you would look at what are the challenges of particular areas within your constituency.
I was about to ask you that. Why do they call your principal Tono Yunus?
So he has that sobriety called sobriquet called when people call him Tono Yunus. I told you, Yunus. I told you he's an expert in energy studies. He read physics first degree and master's physics before doing a PhD in energy studies. So he has experience in areas of energy. So what's the major problem of Nigeria presently, we know it's electricity. Quality light available everywhere. If you go to organized society, very developed climes, you will see that they tackle the problem of energy very seriously. So he felt, okay, what can I do as an expert? That area attracted him. And he came up with a solar power energy system, whereby without necessarily waiting for NEPA, in the villages, people can be able to access quality electricity, a quality light system. So today, as I talk to you, over close to 7,000 units of solar powered lights have been provided across the 11 local governments in Oyo Central District, because we have 11 local governments, and I don't mean to, because of time, I may not necessarily mention their names, So all the 11 local governments, all over the Oyo Central District. Well, I have to mention names, please permit me. Fly from Oluyole to Onara,
which is your local government.
My local government. I will call. You'll expect me to want to love to start from that area. Of course, I'm taking it from that from Ibadan down the entire 5 local government within the metropolis. Then from Onara, Oluyole, Onara, Egbeda, Lagelu, Akinyele, Afijio, Oyo Central, Oyo East, Oyo West, Ogoluwa, Surulere, all of these, Atiba as well, let me not leave Atiba out, Ogoluwa and Surulere, 11 local governments, all under Oyo Central District. Vast area. All across that place, you have 118 wards. All of those wards have the touch of solar power electricity across all the wards. So that's what, but although because before he became senator, they have given him that name. He has been touching lives using solar power and electricity. That's why they call him Tono Yunus. Today, as I talk to you, go to Oyo Central. It's as if you are in London. Everywhere. People, unfortunately, it's not a phone-in program. People can, confirm what I'm saying. Apart from that, he also looked at, environmental friendly programs. Recently, it was like people did not understand the rationale behind that project. And some people say, is it cooking stove that's not the issue? So, but
some said, is it only electricity?
So, cooking stove, he distributed eco-friendly cooking stove for local communities as well too. Recently, about 2,000 units. There was a United Nations program where they discovered that people are dying, especially women, are dying of carbon monoxide inhalation. So, and he said, they said, what's the solution? United Nations came up with a policy that, let's plant more trees. That would increase the carbon, the oxygen level in the system and reduce carbon monoxide challenge. And then, or alternatively, let us come up with a policy whereby, because women are mostly affected. Right. In the past, it's always, women living longer. But the reverse is the case. Recent analysis, what's the problem? They said local women, they die young, 50, 45, sudden death. And we now did research and found out that it's because of the carbon monoxide inhalation. So they came up with that position of let's alternative arrangements to improve in the quality of cooking system in the local communities. So Nigeria had the opportunity of getting some units of those United Nations sponsored cooking stove program. Central today was able to get Oyo Central to benefit immensely from that program, and we distributed over 2,000 units of cooking stove for eco-friendly cooking stove that will reduce carbon monoxide people are consuming in local communities. Again, in terms of empowerment program, you see, currently we lay claim that Senator Akintunde has trained over 500 tailors, selected across. And the way he's doing this program is unique. Of course, we call him Yunus. You know, his the first name is Yunus, so we call him Unique Yunus. Another of his
some say you and us.
Some say you and us. Unique Yunus. Now we call him Senator Dumo because of what he has done. What he's promising people that he will still do more. He has in plan to do more, another 10,000 units of lights. So you can imagine if about 10,000 units of lights added to what we have done. You can imagine what your center will look like. In the night, and the areas where we put those lights are very selected areas, major areas where they are needed. At the Okada junctions all over your center, areas where the Okadas are coming together in various wards, at medical centers, at mosques and churches, and then major roads, critical areas where people gather together. So traditional rulers centers, homes, and stakeholders, critical elderly people's home, people who are not, and it's not a partisan thing. It's something that is doing across board for everybody. He told us, look, I'm no longer a senator of APC. I'm senator of everybody in Oyo Central. So Oyo Central people are very lucky to have somebody like Senator Akintunde in charge now. So much that a former senator who had been in Oyo Central before, I'm talking of distinguished Senator Ayodele, most of us know him, a man who is distinguished, who will call a spade a spade. He said, I have been a senator before. How are you doing your own? You are doing very well. We are proud of you. And he said it openly at Oyo. He said, the job of a leader is to see those who are coming behind him do better than he did. Right. He said, Senator, I'm proud of you. You have surpassed our expectations. So Senator Adesina openly declared about. So we also did empowerment program for other artisans, for tailors. I've mentioned the one for tailors. He has done for those who are doing automobile engineering, auto mechanics. He has done for welders. He has done for farmers. Farmers program is also critical to him. He discovered that the challenge most farmers are having is about seedling. So in conjunction with National Seed Development Agency and some other ministries of agriculture, like National Institute of Horticulture in Ibadan here, he combined efforts with resourceful people over there, and they have come up with seed development program, which we are distributing across the central districts. We've done that twice. And if today people did not know that Oyo Central that has now become a food basket of Oyo State now, that's the secret. We have been able to help farmers. One of
these days, we'll bring Senator Yunus Akintunde
here. He'll be glad to be here
to talk about this.
Yes.
But basically, let's talk about the 2027,
yes,
which is around the corner. How is it shaping up in Oyo State, especially on the angle of the APC and compared to in juxtaposition with other political parties? And for you, as an illustrious son of the soil, are you one of those who might want to throw their hat in the ring come 2027?
You are making me to make a declaration here. Yes, I by the grace of God, by virtue of my exposure, I've spent close to about 25 years in
Do you have what it takes?
Direct involvement in politics, direct involvement in planning for those who have become governor. I'm proud to say it. I can't, if I'm lying, this is a public space. I'm proud to say that the current governor of your state, Governor Seyi Makinde, was with us in ANPP, in ANPP days. Apart from the fact that we are contemporaries, by the grace of God, I appreciate what God has done in his life. He has placed him at that level, that pedestal. We were secondary school, contemporaries together, and we were in the rest of Lagos together as well. To graduate almost in, I think, 1990. I left in 1991. I think it too late in 1991 or 1990 or 91. So we've come together. All of us have come a long way. Every major critical players in politics today, as they will say, it's turn by turn. It is our turn now. When I say our turn, it's our turn now to be in charge.
You are saying it's our turn.
So I can.
It is my turn.
I can boldly say, and I'm going somewhere. I can boldly say that, like current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, that I have served you. I have made sure that I work with you to get there, to achieve certain things in life. I think it's my turn now. I can also say, it is also my turn to serve your state now. So
that's a bold claim.
It's a bold claim that I have all the right to aspire I'm also qualified. Academically, I have what it takes by the grace of God. I'm not the kind of candidate that would say they are requesting for minimum standard. I'm going to provide all my certificates. They are valid, they are original. By the grace of God, I had the privilege to have schooled in great schools in Nigeria. I didn't study outside Nigeria. I went to Western College Practicing School, Ilekura Ibadan. Fantastic primary school. Top of the system within primary school system in Oyo State. That's where I had my primary education. Ibadan Christ Apostolic Grammar School, CS Grammar School, where I can say well-structured school, fantastic school, and I did my levels at Ibadan Grammar School. My later
so it is safe to say certification is not a problem.
And I went to University of Lagos, where I studied geography and planning. My classmates are there. I still have a platform where we operate. So I'm not hiding that did I not go. And I did my MBA at University of Ibadan, the premier university. So by the grace of God, and I have worked in places where evidences of performances, quality management.
The evidences are there. Do you have what it takes?
And in politics,
to contest amongst the money bags
by the grace of God. You see, that's the challenge that we always look at as well. I'm not a billionaire, but I'm not a poor man. By the grace of God, I'm a contented person.
Some say there's an estimation of how much you would spend to become governor.
That is where we are different from others. We're not coming to meet people to tell them we have so much money to spend and give out and dash out. No, we're not throwing money around. No, we are telling people we have solutions to the problems of Oyo State. We're telling people that together as all of us, collectively, it is better for all of us to together agree and say, this is where we are going as a people, than for an individual to come and bring money and say, let me come and be your governor. And when it gets, that has always been the challenge. If somebody will just come with so many billions, and everybody will begin to gather around that 10 billion and say, we want to, let me have my own share of what the man has brought. And then you now make him governor. And it becomes what Yoruba will call Kanajagba. Uncontrollable. He does what he likes. He goes about the governance just the way he wants it done. Because many of you have collected money. The stakeholders have collected money from him. They can't talk. We are now saying, no, we are not going to do that. I'm just the face of the group that wants to take charge. It's a collective. I tell you, it's a wildfire. You will soon begin to hear about it very soon. It's a collective. It's a wildfire. It's growing every day, and I thank God for that opportunity. I've mentioned it to my leaders. I'm going to pursue this idea. Yeah, and there's no going back about it. So we are coming out powerfully very soon. A fantastic brand, which is for every citizen of Oyo State to embrace and see it as a total departure from the regular money bag arrangement. So we are not poor people. It's a array of fairly, comfortable, fantastically comfortable people, all of us coming together to pool resources together to fight the cause.
You have had situations of aspirants who failed to nail the ticket, eventually leaving the political party and joining other political parties. In the year 2019, some of your members did it. In the year 2023, some of your members did it. In the year 2027, will you do it?
I can tell you authoritatively that by the time we come up with our strategy, by the grace of God, we will be the bride, or your APC will be saying, this is the best of those who have said they are interested in. Because ask many of my colleagues that want to become governor, what are your aspirations? What are your plans? What do you have in plan for your state? Most of them don't even know what they're going to do there. I don't want to mention him of one of my, someone who eventually became governor. Permit me to use that. And the money was going to collect as a governor. This particular fund, precisely let me talk about the security fund. Security votes. I'm going to devote, you can't devote security votes to workers because it's meant for certain purposes. For security of the state, you have to take care of the police, the army, the vigilante, the traditional system. Because many of them they've never been there. They don't know what this thing entails. That's why you now see them, when they come in, they are just struggling to survive for the first year or 2 years. They've not been able to do anything. We, together, I say we, it's not me alone. Several of us that are coming to form this new government, we know what we want to achieve with governance. We know from the one we are going, we have our blueprint. Because the blueprint is not designed by me alone. It's a collective work of several of us who will come together and say, this is how we are going to run Oyo State. So the only two offices that cannot contest for in Nigeria today, to answer your question, is the office of president for now. Because I still want to follow the Yoruba Southwest agenda. It's critical to me. So that I can't. The office of Senator for Oyo Central, where my leader, is presently occupying. He said he wants to go back to return to the Senate. I've told my guy, come and run for governor. He said, Kunle, don't worry, I want to. He has his reasons. Today I'm his boy. And I said, Oga, I want to run for governor. He can't, he won't say no.
Now basically, lastly, before we go in 30 seconds, in the year 2027, before and after the election,
yes,
will the APC remain one?
Yes, it depends on the way, like we have been saying it. 2027 is not far. It's just close by. We have learned our lessons. We know where the issues are. And I pray that we're able to galvanize our resources together and solve that problem before the end of this year. I can assure you that APC will be one strong, united family.
Honorable Kunle Olatunji, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Thank
you very much.
That's been a wonderful session with you.
Wonderful time with you as well, too.
Very soon we'll bring you back.
I look forward to.
And most definitely we'll bring Senator Yunus Akintunde.
I will facilitate that. I will facilitate that.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, before we go, that brings us to the end of this edition of the Poliscope, where we explored the place of legislature in strengthening democracy and the role of legislators in lawmaking, oversight, and representation. A big thank you to our guest, Honorable Kunle Olatunji, KTJ, for his insights, and to you, our audience, for staying with us. Until next time, I am Samsi Balogun, reminding you that democracy works best when the people understand their institutions. Good night. Bye for now.